So let's now have a look at the Scottish Sports and Saloon Car Championship here at Knockout Racing Circuit. And the car's already on the grid and ready to go. Robert Bremner on the front of the grid alongside John Kinmond. The two big thumping cars, big thumping V8s at the front. Red lights are on, red lights are off, and away we go down to Duffus Dip for the first time of asking. And who is going to have the jump? Is it Bremner? Is it Kinmond? It looks like Bremner on the inside. Kinmond tries to go around the outside, but it's not to be. And they pulled away a little bit from Raymond Boyd there in the blue Porsche, who comes through in third place down through Les's. Oh, Kinmond had a bit of a look towards the inside there. Rather strange, uncharacteristic move from John. Not normally one for seeing him do that. Through the top of the Arnold Clark chicane. Jimmy Crowe with a good start as well with the Mark 1 Escort. He is well up there towards the front end of the race, which is good to see. And was that Alistair Bapty flashing through in his little, I think it was the X19 Fiat. We'll catch up with that as we get back round. But out of the hairpin for the first time of asking, Bremner powers up. Now just listen to these cars. Absolutely gorgeous engine sound there from the two first cars. And Raymond Boyd with his new turbocharged Porsche, you should say that. Brand new for 2018. Raymond has turbocharged that car. So if it goes well, it will be very, very fast. But he could and has been having a few teething problems, shall we say. Yeah, the Fiat X19 of Alistair Bapty definitely was in the mix there. We got a little glimpse of that again. So we'll see how much progress he can make. Martin Ramsey in an XR2. I can't believe the XR2s are now in the classics. I used to race these myself, and does that make me old? Well, not really. However, it does make an XR2 old. It finds its way into the Classic Sports and Saloon Car Championship, and a good home for those cars to be in as well. Jimmy Crowe still making his way towards the hairpin, and Jimmy, a long-standing man who has been in this championship for a lot of years. Great to see him there, and that's Andrew Graham now starting to catch up towards the back of Boydie in Raymond's Porsche. Has the Porsche already developed? What it had was a high revving misfire, and that was just purely down to fueling earlier on. So let's hope he's managed to cure that. But a lot of work goes in behind the scenes, you can imagine, to make a car turbocharged from being a non-turbo car. Up the back straight goes Bremner, chased by Kinmond, and Boyd under pressure now from Graham as they come through the Arnold Clark chicane. Now, got to say that he's going to be starting to sweat a little bit in that car, one would imagine, as they make their way towards Clark Corner. We've also got Bruce Mitchell in there as well. Oh, George Leach, problem for George. Now, has he, yeah, that looks like a mechanical for George Leach. Likeable George parks his car halfway up the back straight, and to be honest, yeah, in the firing line if somebody loses it and goes towards the inside there. But unfortunate for George, nothing he can do about that. Mechanical issue has rendered him out of the race at the Arnold Clark chicane. But Bremner goes down through Duffus Dip in towards McIntyre's and Andrew Graham now. Graham's ahead of Raymond Boyd. Boydie has succumbed to the pressure and up into third place for Andrew Graham. And Raymond Boyd straight back up the inside there. Oh, good move for Raymond, opportunistic as ever to get back onto the podium. Double waved yellow flags. So now, did Raymond overtake under a yellow flag? I don't believe he did there. No, I would imagine Raymond would be adhering to the marshal's advice here as they make their way up. And Bruce Mitchell starting to catch him. He's pulled away from Jimmy Crowe quite easily there as they head towards the hairpin for this time of asking. Kinmond still chasing Bremner as much as he can, but nothing happening at the front apart from this battle for third place. Graham comes up the inside. Boyd sees him, gives him a nice bit of racing room, stays out of the way, as you would imagine. Bruce Mitchell all on his own, away from Jimmy Crowe now. Great shot of the cars going over the top of Duffus Dip and then down through Leslie's in towards McIntyre's. Now the next car through the green, Cardiac, the TR8. Then Raymond Boyd. Is Raymond Boyd going to come under pressure from Bruce? Let's follow Bruce down in towards McIntyre's here. Turns in, just misses the apex curb there. Looks for a nice smooth line through. Down through Butchers. Let's listen to that. That is absolutely sensational. Bremner streaks round towards the hairpin. Pulling away all the time now from John Kinmond. John Kinmond will be trying as hard as he possibly can in that ex-Walkinshaw Rover. Very big car. John's got it together over the last couple of years and he's managed to get the reliability up there. And that really is something that he was struggling with at the start, but he can now drive it absolutely flat out for the full 10-lap race Full race distance is not a problem to him now. And Raymond Boyd seems to be getting a bit of a second wind here. He's pulled away from Bruce Mitchell and he's coming up towards the back of that green TR8. The TR8 feeling the pressure now. Andrew Graham runs a little bit wide there in towards McIntyre's, and look at that, Raymond Boyd through the twisty part, all over the back of him as they come through the Arnold Clark chicane. Power up the back straight towards Clark. Is this an overtaking chance for Raymond Boyd? Yes. Boyd, he sticks it up the inside towards the apex at Clark's. Nice, clean, calculated overtaking manoeuvre by Raymond Boyd there. He'll be happy with that one as he powers round towards the hairpin. So if the car did have a misfire before, it seems to have cleared itself. It seems to be working pretty well now. And Boyd will be happy with that. I think he started to see Bruce Mitchell homing in behind him and decided that he didn't want to be involved in that. And probably for him, he best wasn't to be. Duncan Fox side by side with another Duncan, and that's O'Neill as they go through Butchers and over the crest of the chicane. Not normally a place we see cars side by side as they go up the back straight towards Clark's, but we want to try and catch back up if we can with the Raymond Boyd battle, because Raymond did get past, but you've got to say Andrew Graham has been looking pretty feisty and pretty racy throughout the course of this event. And Andy Walker there in his car comes in towards the hairpin. You'll see these battling Fiestas behind him. And look at that, Bremner already on the case of doing a bit of lapping up the main straight. He comes. Listen to that, big V8 power just thunders past the two XR2s, the 1600cc CVH engine which is underneath the bonnet of these two cars, and the two Duncans battling it out as they come towards Duffy's Dip. And it's Fox who manages to take the line from O'Neill, and here John Kinman sideways over the hill. Fabulous style from John. He's driving that within an inch of its life, and he's not giving up. He can't give up. He can't give up, because if he gives up too much before he knows it, he will have the third and fourth place man over him. Oh, Bruce Mitchell goes off. Now that's very strange. Just something we don't see very often. Into the grass, lights up the rear tyres, kicks up the mud. Bapty goes round the outside of him. Oh, insult to injury. He won't be liking that. Round the outside of him goes Alistair Bapty in the little Fiat X19. And Andrew Graham now touring up the back straight. So a bit of a race of attrition here. Andrew Graham, we just saw him off the side of the camera there, touring towards Clark's in the green Triumph. That isn't good for him as John Kinman comes round the hairpin and accelerates up the main straight. So I wonder what's gone wrong with Andrew Graham. It would be great to find out if we can, but unfortunately he is away. He comes into the pit lane there right in front of us, in fact rolls through pit entrance, and that is the end of the race for the man who was giving Raymond Boyd quite a hard time out there. Raymond Boyd will be, I would imagine, upset that he's not got a race anymore. I haven't said that. He's still got to go as fast as he can, but he won't want anything untoward to have happened to Andrew Graham. He will hopefully get him back out for race number 2. XR2's coming through. Robert Bremner sideways over the crest of Clark's. That really is a good camera angle there. We see the cars really working, and you can actually see the drivers inside the car working away as well, which gives it that added little bonus for us watching on the television here. The laps are counting down. Ticking away they go as Bremner now comes in towards Duffy's Dip, and that's Michael Longstaff that he's about to go slithering past, possibly into McIntyre's. Hold your breath. No, he manages to hold him. He manages to be a little bit more reserved this time. He's going to have him before Clark's, one would imagine. No point trying to squeeze past in the little area of Butchers and the start of the chicane. Not really overtaking place. Michael Longstaff just wants to get out the way from that big thundering V8. He would have heard that and looked in his mirror, and all he would see would be front grille. As we catch back up with the man who spun at Duffy's Dip, Bruce Mitchell, and Bruce goes round and does a beautiful little half donut for us at the hairpin. Thanks very much for that, Bruce. Very unlike you. Obviously struggling with a little bit of rear end grip there. Perfectly dry track conditions, but yeah, not to be. Bruce Mitchell gets away from his spin at the hairpin, and the lights now ablaze on the leader's car as we see him going in towards the top of Duffy's Dip. Michael Longstaff a lap down. We wait for John Kinman, the second place car. He comes through in the big Rover, and John will be pretty happy with how he's got so far. Martin Ramsey there in his XR2 going a lap down as well, but showing some pretty good lap times as we see the timing screens there. Martin will be happy with that, and he's ahead of the two Duncans as well, so Fox and O'Neill still battling away on track. As we pick up with our leader, he's put the lights still on or lights off, it doesn't really matter, just to try and get the, oh, now here we go, we've got a safety car out because Bruce Mitchell did get away from the hairpin, but then unfortunately has got himself stuck in the hairpin exit gravel trap. So That's a bit of a disaster. Out comes the Honda Civic Type R. In comes Recovery 1 with Bruce Mitchell on the back, looking a little bit red-faced. And the lights appear to have fallen off the back of the safety car there as he parks up the Trial, and we are racing again here at Nottingham Racing Circuit. As over the crest of the hill goes Robert Bremner in, well, that beautiful big V8 thunders away, gets so much grunt to get up the hill, and look at him dancing with it in the hill, dancing all the way, and almost out of shot there was John Kinman. Now, did John keep that on track? Yes, he did. Only just, we will never know how, but he was fighting the big car all the way down the hill there, completely out of control. The gap has got very big. Where is John? Yes, he's there. And Raymond Boyd would have had an absolute grandstand seat of that. The Rover completely out of control over the crest of the hill. And yeah, dialing for his mates inside the car was John Kinman, but a great bit of car control, manages to keep that on. We were watching Robert Bremner having a lovely little slide over the crest hill, and then John Kinman coming to view completely sideways. So thankfully he's got that together, but look at the pressure he is now under big pressure from Raymond Boyd as Michael Longstaff spins in the background. And the little MG, strange manoeuvre as well down there. Not used to seeing these guys spin. Oh dear, Alistair Bapty sneaks by and steals another position away there. That's really how Alistair Bapty rolls. Good guy, Alistair. Loves a bit of a joke in the paddock, always walking around with a big smile on his face, and just absolutely loves his classic sports and saloon car championship racing. Now John Kinman, yes, a little bit better shrewd off his dip area this time, although he's still got big pressure from Raymond Boyd. Boydie in that turbocharged Porsche right up behind him now as they go through the chicane. Now Kinman making a big left and big right out of that one, which you can see Raymond Boyd much straighter on the general approach to the chicane. Is Boydie going to go up the inside? Kinman covers the line. He's obviously seen Raymond Boyd do a bit of damage there before and make some great overtaking manoeuvres, but not to be this time as the leader comes through the hairpin. Bremner goes up towards the checker flag. It's been a brilliant drive, absolutely faultless, and John Kinman, by what would appear the skin of his teeth, is holding off Raymond Boyd, and he does towards the line. Raymond Boyd doesn't get second place. John Kinman takes second, Raymond Boyd takes third. Jimmy Crowe comes through the hairpin. We could just see that through the flag marshal's gantry there. Comes through with a lovely big sideways from Jimmy Crowe, and he'll be delighted with that one. Good to see Jimmy out there. Alistair Bapty crosses the line as well. Cracking race for the Scottish Classic Sports and Saloon Car Championship. We're very happy with that one, and Robert Bremner will be delighted with how he got on in that one. John Kinman, well, he'll just be thankful that he managed to keep that one on track and bring it back in one piece. After that pretty leery moment he had down at Duffus Dip towards the end of the race, it smiles all round for the top three.